welcome to a live stream here directly from the very workshop of Anders Thidell, who is the inventor of what I call the future of the guitar, which is a fretboard that actually is completely in tune. And I know a lot of people out there gets very strong reactions when you see this. And you would think, and we're going to get more in detail in that, and you guys who are joining right now, please, this is the time to ask Anders the questions that you all have, and he can answer this much better than I am, because he is the inventor of this. So Anders, it's so nice to be here after all these years. I got in contact with these guys, this is more than 10 years ago, and I'm really happy to have been part of this amazing development that really has matured into a absolutely perfect product. Thank you for being here, or thank you for having me here.
Yeah, no, pleased to finally that you made it here, because like you said, it's we met up quite a long time ago.
Yes.
This last time, and it's really nice. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. To
tell us what. I think a lot of people will ask this. So what is wrong with the normal frets? Because people think this should be calculated. Why is the normal frets not in tune? And if you don't, anyone who has tried to play a normal guitar together with a piano, for example, it just will never be in tune. Why is that?
Yeah, I have a very long answer for that. Yeah, but I will shorten as much as I can. First thing is that to determine where to put the frets in a common way, like we used to do, is to use a mathematical formula. It's 12th root of 2 is one of them. It's also rule of 18. It's not so common to use that, but anyway, both those ways is that you rely on the mathematics only in the theory, and to create a 12-tone equals temperate scale. And in the theory is correct if we do that, but in the reality we have so much other things to take under consideration. So the difference from that and what I'm doing here is I do the intonation, or I used to call it the calibration of a specific scale, whatever it could be, in reality. So I just measure on the string and the positions so I don't rely upon a mathematic thing, because I just want to make sure that we be right in the reality. Because if you like, per example, if you have like a 650 millimeter scale, and you do that with the 12th root of 2, when you put up the bridge, when you meet up the octave, so you hear a clear octave with the 12 frets, it would be actually a longer scale.
Right, because the pressure.
Just think it needs compensation down here, so it will be end up further away.
Right.
So it's not a true scale, because it's not 650, in reality.
Right.
So it's one part of the True Temperament, that we call it that. It's only one part of it. And so I do it, just measure each note, each note positions where it sounds right in reality, and I measure it with stroboscopes and stuff to make it really be. So it if you then compare, I don't know if I have something in this right scale to compare with, but anyway, this will end up, so it will contract a little bit, if you measure on the last part here, if you just relatively make a comparison where the frets actually sits compared to a straight fret guitar on the same scale. But anyway, it's that's the way I work with it.
Well, me as a player, I can say, of course, when I first saw this, it sort of it sort of popped. I didn't get it. So and in the end, you have to try it basically, right? That's the only really way. And I'm gonna. Just to begin with, the way you tune now is a little different. You will have to tune, for example, I'm using the E here, So I'm tuning the E on every string, correct?
Yeah, also, yeah.
Or you also have, I know that there is a specific tuner app also that you can.
Yeah.
But I never found that really necessary. But what happens here, for example, for me, one of the best examples is you play an E major chord on a normal guitar. It is just so, the third is just so awfully out of tune.
Yeah.
And that's where you, if you go closer, you can see that's exactly where that compensation is made. So, and what is more amazing is on a normal guitar, if you tune that you're in tune here, normally it's not in tune here, but just have a listen to that. I will show you. This you would never have with a normal guitar. And why is this so important? Well, it's basically, it's more in tune, but especially if you're going to play with other instruments. If you're playing with a violinist, they are used to intonate with a grand piano. So, but saying that is just, let me just play a little bit because... There it ended again on the E major, and that's just so incredibly satisfying.
Thank you.
You know.
Yes, but the thing is also that it's the E major here, but you can combine it. If you change the chord configuration to C major open, that on a regular guitar, the fifth, between the C and the open G, for example, it's also like either way you tune it for a C or for a E or barrier,
Right.
So, but I just wanted to be able to combine those, with the same, same tuning. It doesn't feel good. Yes, and also like if you, continue with a or a D, and a major. Yes. Yeah. So it
Or. Or yeah.
So it's. Yeah, so it's basically also the part two, just with this fret arrangement, is that it also includes a small twist for the equal temperament, just for it to suit the guitar, so it could, so it could blend in, because I would even say that 100% of those players that I have made instruments for experience a more harmonic, relationship with the piano and other instruments. So,
do we have any comments?
Frankie says hi from Indonesia.
Hello.
And we've got a thoughtful emoji, an alien emoji, and
You guys, this is the time here. If you're out there, this is time to ask the questions. I know that yesterday I posted a picture of this fretboard, and so many people went just a little bit very, very confused about this. I had a friend of mine, he couldn't hardly sleep all night just thinking about this. So this really is the time. But I have a question, and that is, as you say, in theory, the straight frets in our mind seem that it should work. But what I find really interesting, that basically the way you develop this is, although you are, we just talked all morning here, and basically you understand completely the theory, but in reality the way it was developed was basically by listening, correct? Or by tuning note by note?
Yeah, no, by listening, because it's all started in myself. It's about, I used to have a new expression, like I used to say, like intonation psychology. So so I had a really hard time, to get around my guitar for many years ago, because I suppose that I wanted to get every chord to sound more, in a harmonic way, and I started the development of my guitars on my own, So just by listening and trying out different ways of doing it, it took a very long time. But I did it for myself. I had no plan, to make any, living out from it, But
No?
No, not from the beginning. So it's for my three-piece group back then, in the 80s. So I began to start, make experiments with this.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that is so awesome. Do we have any? Someone say something again?
Gala Guitarra says great sound.
Thank you.
And Franz says hello.
Franz. Well, Franz, I know you, we were just chatting yesterday about this, and well, it seemed like you also came with some very wonderful thing. Of course, you should have been around this morning because we just really was digging so deep into this that basically I just told him we need 2 weeks on Bali, and we can talk the whole day to get into this. It's fantastic, and
Absolutely.
And Anders is also planning to write an entire book about this eventually.
Yeah, I need to do that, because it's always too short time to make more deep explanations of every details.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually ended up with I should call it like a new theory about, the creation of different temperament, how to work with it, because all instrument technicians like piano tuners and stuff have a big hassle, with tuning the pianos, and each instrument with set, notes, like the frets or whatever you call it. So I have a new theory about, doing my practical work, independent work, doing all these years, without reading much, theory, what's already been written. So in that way I feel I need to just write all those things that I discovered and to put in a book, because it's...
Now we have some more questions.
Yes. First, Joey says, hi Muller, thanks for doing this.
Hello, Joey.
Frankie again, what is the goal of this fret system? Is it a big secret in technical or musical? Thanks.
One more time. Technical or music?
The goal of this fret system, is it a big secret in technical or musical?
It's no big secret, so I want to write a book, and tell everything that I know about it, because obviously it's live streams and stuff is too short, to make a decent explanation of the depth of this topic. So.
Yes, Franz, I think we may actually use you a little bit later for this too.
There is another comment from Franz. I understood the result is real equal temperament like a piano, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's equal temperament, like I said from the beginning, with a little twist, to suit the guitar, to make it blend in.
And what is the twist? That I don't quite understand.
No, it's a small offset here and there in the temperament.
Just to make it more pretty, or
more. Huh?
Just to make it more beautiful, or just
just to suit the guitar, because the whole thing began with that I just sitting and play, and I had a guitar that I took off the frets from, and put in a double stick tape, what you call it, and a small piece of small frets, so that we just each one small one for each note position. And I was able to move that around as a play and just try it and see how I would experience it as a guitar player, from a guitar player's point of view. So it started like that. And when I was beginning to get finished with it, and I said, okay, this... And I did several prototypes, so in different, more frets in the octave and all that.
But we're talking 20 years, something like this.
Yeah, so I don't recall exactly when I saw, but it was like in the 80s and middle end of the 80s. So it's like 35 years or something.
Wow.
But I did it for my own purpose from the beginning.
Interesting.
And then I used to get some interest from folks that I know, do you think you can do that for me and stuff? So and I begin to, well, suddenly I'm sitting here, So, yeah.
Well, I know that a lot of, this is another question that, because that's the question I had was, well, how about when I retune? Because for example, as you know, you guys who know me, I do a lot of retuning on my guitar. And well, I think it's just as good. I mean, it's really wonderful, for example, also when I do things like, I'm going to demonstrate that later, I retune and I play ragas, and it's also very, very nice. But I'm just going to give it, because you guys, I know you want to hear it. So here's an example with a drop detuning. course, another question which I know Franz, we were chatting last night as we both about, of course, there is, of course, when we use natural harmonics, some of them are, of course, already in themselves out of tune, but for me, it has not been a problem. To be honest, for me, this is just something, it's the feeling, I know Kenny Hill has also been involved in this project, and he says it very well. He says it's like drinking a very clear mineral water, something like a Fiji water. And of course, the same with, when we drink water, we drink our tap water. Of course, we're used to it. But of course, when we try something else, this is the feeling for me. If I play this for 10 minutes, I go back to my other guitar, it's very unsatisfying. So that is the...
Yeah,
we have a question though. We need to...
Yes. Well, Frank says interesting and thanks from far north. Franz again. So if you play in a specific key, it might still be a good idea to tune the guitar specifically in a way that the main chords sound as pure as possible, or not?
No, that is the whole point, right? We don't, that's the thing. I tune the E's all the right.
Yeah.
And then when I done that, everything else, no matter which key, I can perhaps demonstrate that a bit. It doesn't matter. I can play any key. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point. We do not need to adjust. That's the whole point. It's the same idea as with what Bach wanted to achieve with a well-tempered clavier, right?
Yeah.
So basically.
Yeah.
Well, and let's just try to... I know when you guys started first, you used a kind of a different material, which was not as strong. Now you actually use stainless steel. So, I mean, to be honest, all another thing, these are basically some of the best quality frets you could ever have.
I think I can be able to say that it's the most, I should say, most technical frets ever manufactured in the time. Because each fret is machined separately in a CNC machine, 5 axis, and it, take it out from a solid piece of stainless steel, each one. So it's quite,
So development is quite incredible from that, because I know in the beginning there was, of course, a little bit that was soft, but now basically you have came to this, which is basically a whole new way of making frets.
Yeah, because the other one, the old one, was actually molded. It's in a different alloy. It wasn't bad. It's a really good alloy that we used like before, but we just got the opportunity to make an upgrade, to a really durable material.
No, I feel that, and I can also say what I found personally, one thing that really got me very passionate about this project was because in the beginning I sent them a guitar that I knew. So of course, I'm only talking about the memory of the guitar, but it was a memory I knew fairly well. I had played it in many, many concerts. We sent it to you. You had it done. It came back, and it was, of course, more in tune, but it had another quality which really struck me, and it was a little bit louder, quite a bit louder, and it was more resonant. So it seemed to me, because for some reason it would just resonate more with the natural harmonics or something. Is that, I suppose that wasn't your intention, but it's almost like a side effect.
Yeah, it's a side effect from it. So it wasn't that goal that I reached from the beginning. It was the intonation thing. Then the other parts that you mentioned here is a side effect from it.
And now, what I'm so happy about all this year now, this is for you who know that I started my own guitar brand, and these are made in the Guitar City in Chang'an, which is now the leading industrial zone in the world. It's the biggest exporter of guitars. It's the one largest zone in the world of exporting guitars, and it has gathered not only expertise in manufacturing, but we have some of the finest luthiers of handmade guitars out of China, and I have collaborated with those. And despite, of course, we have almost like a 6 months delay in this whole thing, but just this morning, Ulf, your partner in this, he's promised me now to send over a bunch of frets. We're going to send them over to China and actually starting production. And this was basically the sample, the first guitar that I made with these frets for my brand. And I am so happy about that, I can tell you, and I'm really excited about bringing this and to be able to use this myself and to use it for my guitars. And we do have more questions.
Yes, it's Franz again.
Yes.
But the piano is not in correct pure tune, and so isn't that guitar cannot be otherwise. But with the guitar you can adjust the tuning a bit to best fit the desired key. I think this is correct.
You mean with the normal frets? Well, but that is what it doesn't. If you do that with the normal frets, yeah, you can slightly adjust, but then you're limited to that key. And that was the same frustration that Bach had, basically. That you couldn't just, he wanted to move freely. So it is really, for me, it is kind of, as an artist, it's part of my kind of wish for improvement or for development, or, you know, so. I have a response to that?
No, I mean, if I just expand the question a little bit, just if you talk, for example, if I talk about if something is in tune or not, I have to get a reference from something.
Right.
If it's in tune to a specific temperament, or not. If it's for the natural, you know, scale or something. And like I said, it has a little twist with a couple of sounds here. They just to suit to play with the piano. This is also like how is the piano itself, who have tuned it in which way. If you have a stretch tuning there, that's really common. That is needed. Is that the treble part is a little bit sharp and down in the bass, and the piano is a little bit flat.
Right.
You know, in different degrees.
Right. Yeah.
So you have a curve there, and I also use the same principle in this one, especially I do also like up to 8-string guitars.
Oh.
And with that kind of range, I just really have to take that into consideration. You just have to outstretch it.
Interesting, yeah. So for you who don't, I know that it's basically even for me, it's a little bit complicated. So for you, I know your guitarists out there. What we're talking about is when you tune a normal piano. Although we talk about, it's not that you exactly tune it perfect. You actually, basically, like you said, you want the treble to be a little higher. And it is also, we must understand, the piano, guitar, it's also, for example, the high notes, in a sense, when in the actual attack, there's a slight decay in pitch.
Yeah.
So that's, in a way to compensate that the high notes don't sound too low.
Yeah.
More questions here.
Yes. First, Adil here says, greeting to you both.
Thank you!
And Franz again, my only point was that equal temperament is still a compromise. Very good if you want to move through the keys.
Ah!
Yeah, yes.
And also, should I change my very good guitar to True Temperament? What would be your advice?
Yes, we are now, actually next week I'll have the opportunity to visit a bigger workshop, but this is your personal, this is the brain here, right?
Yeah.
This is a big company, it's much bigger than this. This is just the kind of the starting point, and I suppose headquarters is Gothenburg?
Yeah. But this is where it all started, you know.
This is where it started.
And
they can send guitars to you, right? And you can change them. You can just have it changed for you.
Yeah. I did I did it many times so far. So it's So send it here. Send me an email, and we can just include my email. But I think.
Well, we can. We can. Yeah, definitely. I think maybe you can just refer to the website. Maybe Veda. You can. What is it? TrueTemperament.com. And I mean, there you have it all, right?
Yeah,
and there's a lot of more information there. But again, it's you need to try it. And I mean, of course, now traveling is not so convenient, but also, you can also, if you want to try it, we will also have guitars to try. I can already tell you now, this very guitar here is going to go to Sika's Guitars. So if anyone has an opportunity to go there, this will be the first True Temperament. I don't know if any of the Sika's people are watching, but this will be the very first True Temperament guitars that Sika's will present. So, and I'm also going to produce the next week some professional videos that Sika's will upload on their channel that you can look. more about? We have more questions. So nice, so many questions. I'm going to play more in a bit also.
Yes. First of all, the website has been linked just now.
Thank you, Vera.
And Frankie wants to know, when did you find this idea? How many attempts when you decided of that model? Any failure? And also, is that patented? Thanks.
Yeah, I did a patent on it back in 2005, I believe. And I had one earlier too that I used. I felt the need to just upgrade it because I used to discover some more things that is included in the patent from I believe it's 2005.
How many times?
How many?
Instead of
I don't recall them.
2.0, but how many times did you kind of?
I had, I don't remember because exactly because it was I did many different way to do it. I just started with I ended up with 31 notes in the octave. And I later discovered that I just reinvented a mean tone system that was fully chromatic in 31 notes, and but it's quite tricky to play. You have to really adjust. It's a quite steep learning curve to begin to play on that guitar. But,
right.
But then later on, I just discovered more things, and I just reduced the amount of frets down to 12. Yeah, again, and trying to do the very best I could with that, and there, I begin to discover different aspects, that I believe many piano tuners and stuff, that people that searching in the subject missed a couple of things because they just work in a practical way, so they're listening and moving around and see what's going up. And later on, when I was done, I began to measure on it, measure the distances. So I go from the opposite way. From the practical to the theoretical.
And I think,
and I want to try to understand it, and that's what I want to explain in the forthcoming book.
In the book, and I think what I really like about it, and I think what is different, and you also mentioned hard to play. What it's very important. A lot of people ask this: how does it feel to play? It is the weirdest thing. If you don't look, you don't even notice. That is the amazing thing. And I must also say, with this new, although these are actually compared to standard classical frets, they are quite a lot thinner, but that has actually a very wonderful effect on, you just really don't feel it. This is what people are struck by, that it's really not compared to other systems that have attempted this. I've never seen anything that's just hard to play, somehow weird. And this, because they are in one piece also, it just, and okay, it's going to be a bit silly here, but if we go a little bit closer, you see here how it goes in here. You say, if I look at my finger, most finger it goes in here anyway. So it's almost like it was meant to be like this, right? If there is a God, he did sort of, maybe this was the real way,
It happens to be, I didn't think about that when I did it, because it ended up a way that I had to accept. Okay, this is the way it's going to look. I didn't know it from the beginning. When I was ready, I just began to look at it. Okay, and but I think it's a good side effect, maybe.
Yeah. And it's sort of like what you're looking at. It's like nature. You don't. This is. So we're getting a little philosophical here, which I know that Franz wouldn't mind at all. But of course, there are no straight lines in nature. I mean, this now aesthetically, and we do have more questions.
Yes, Jory says we would love to hear the comparison between a True Temperament guitar and a normal fretted guitar.
Yeah, we can do that, maybe. Yeah, I see one there in Alhambra.
Okay.
In Altamira, whatever that is.
And then I have a second question.
Okay. Now I had tuned it. Let me tune it then. I got it in just standard tuning. More questions?
Yes. Amitabha wants to know, from a performance point of view, how was it like to adapt to this guitar?
There's no adaptation. That's the weird thing. Like 5 minutes, you say maybe 10 minutes, you're done. Yeah. That is the weird thing, and that made me realize that because it's quite a big difference, but I think we're basically not that precise. And I think when we rely, what we basically rely on is more the feeling of the fret coming onto our finger. So, at least for me, I did not have any sense that I needed to adjust. Now we need to make sure that we do our best job. We're not going to try to cheat you here by making that guitar out of tune. So I'm going to start by tuning this one first, very well. Because now I was messing around. Later I will show you also how well this works in different tunings. Actually, in an odd way, another thing, because the thing is very obvious when it's in tune or not. As a normal guitar, because it's never really in tune, sometimes I have this headache. I feel like I'm tuning forever and it's never in tune. As with this one, there's sort of, there it is, you know. There. And then of course, we have to accept this. The guitar can go out of tune, of course. But I look at it this way. We have a better starting point. So even if it's out of tune, it will be less, you know. Of course, especially if you play something very hard or something, of course, you're going to go out of tune. But at least we're better off. So it's a more, this is truly the future of the guitar, and this is truly for professionals, primarily, I would say, in recording artists. But of course, for anyone who's attempting professionalism, this is also, as of course, for a beginner, you don't even know how to tune, so. But saying that, it might be, you know, the future will tell. Maybe this will be the future standard. What do you think about that? Do you think about that late at night?
Yeah, but so, you know, this with guitar is a really conservative
right.
segment of the, you know, so it takes time. It takes time, you know, because.
Yeah, why are guitars so conservative? That I never understood.
No, it's through traditions, you know, in the loop.
Tradition, yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
So let's do that same thing. Is that one? Let me tune that one. Let me tune that one too. So, and of course with the standard, he tunes by ear. I would tune like the opposite. For example, with the standard. So I will do my best to tune this. Actually, I always kind of tune in a similar way anyway, in octaves personally, even with a standard fret. But I think this now we're going to really hear the difference. Because here E major. Oh, is it really that bad? This is what I'm talking about. When you go to this system, you just. Have a look. Oh my God. Oh, but this also maybe this is an extremely bad.
No, this is no. I mean, this
let's compare now, you guys.
True.
So this is the moment of truth. We can go back and forth as many times as you want. Now we go. Oh my God. Let's just do that again. We can do that all day here. And we can try. And yeah, that needs to. That guitar wasn't really. We will try to tune this as well as we can. To not be. Of course, there's conservative. Yes, I do get this kind of comment that doesn't the guitar have a kind of particular sound that we're used to? But that's again like, yeah, if you used to drink your terrible tap water at home and you've done that your whole life, you don't even think about it. But the day you try that pure mineral water, then it's like, you know. So we're trying. Yeah, this guitar is very hard. Let's give it another try. So we try to make at least. So you see it. Because here with these standard frets, for example, I'm tuning here. So now these notes will be in tune, basically, like the. But for example, already there, that's not in tune. It doesn't match.
it's always, you know, there's some every time I used to pick up a regular guitar. I used to,
That's better. Okay, we're gonna do the same test. E major.
yeah, it's a bit favored there.
It's okay, but this one is really not good. And now this one, G.
No.
So now we do that again on the True Temperament.
And
So
the
we
way you
really
know.
understand here.
I'm
Have a
sorry.
look at this. Oh my god. I think that kind of speaks for itself. I mean, I think that if anyone has
that was
any
the reason.
Yeah.
That was the reason I started with it. You know, because I just hear that in my head it should be able to reproduce. You know, what you just play. But it's a really big hassle to really do. It's especially when you combine with the open strings. You know, that you
Yes, combined with open string, this is another thing that is extremely difficult with standard frets. That you play and it's okay, maybe this is okay, but now I'm mixing it, you know, and then it just isn't in tune. And we have more questions. This is fabulous. We never had so many questions here on the live stream.
It's Franz again.
Yes, of course.
I have a very good guitar. Can I be sure that the new fretting would not do any harm to the
Good
delicate
question.
relationship of strings, fretboard, etc.? That's all.
Yeah, that's a good question. Will there be some kind of, is there a risk when you change it? Will you, you can basically just measure exactly this
sure,
guitar
absolutely.
and reproduce.
Yeah, no, I used to put the whole guitar. I just protect it, and I just measure it. You know, so put it in the CNC in a very delicate way. You know, take away the old fretboard and install a new one. So you won't notice it afterwards. So you won't see. You think it's been built that way.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah. So.
But I want to, because I know, I wanted to, now coming back, I'm going to show you, I'm going to tune, you know, as you know, you guys know me, I like tune in different ways. And basically that doesn't matter, it still works, even if I reach it. That is the answer, because people ask about that.
Yeah. It can't be worse like a straight fret guitar. Anyway,
Right,
you know,
it can be, it's like, it can only be better.
Yeah.
That's again, even if it's not, because of course, look, when I put my finger, you know, maybe I bend a little bit, or like I say, go out of tune. It's not that we're looking for perfection, but we're looking, because of course perfection doesn't exist, like you say, even within the system, you have to tweak it to make it more beautiful. Perfection isn't, it's not about perfection, it's about better is better, right? It's just, it's better.
The thing is just with equal temperament and or like with the Feldwolf 2 is only a mathematical thing. There's no like art or like musical thought about it. It's so strictly just to divide a certain you know, register in the note spectrum of a counterpart. You put out 12 notes in the note tape. Just with the straight fret. So it's this with the True Temperament thing, where I put my own like perspective from a guitar player point of view to how I, in the perfect world, would like to have it instead of straight fret. So, how I could. This is one way of expression.
Yeah, I mean, and we have questions.
Yes. This is forwarded from your.
From YouTube?
Yes.
From YouTube. Thanks for doing it. I know we have on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook today. You can write comments on all, they will get to us eventually.
Yes, so Danny Shoemaker has a comment or question. My shop works on almost 1,000 guitars a year. I am an intonation freak. I cut my teeth as a repairman in the late 80s through the mid 90s, working on concert classical guitars. I have seen a few of these types of necks and really suggest moving a diminished seventh chord chromatically up the neck. Really listen to the beats like a piano tuner. This system has a wide variety of results. If it made the guitar better, I'd be on board. Daman's system of shortening only the G string about 1 millimeter works much better for an even temperament.
Well, you know, you can have any opinion. Is the camera okay?
Yes.
It's made a little bit of a funny sound there. It's on, right?
No, it's off.
That's not good, but you can hear our sound, right? I think this was my fault. Okay, guys, sorry. Why is that? Well, this is the thing about live streams. This has happened one time before. You know, that is normally goes back on. Well, I can keep talking. You know,
Yes.
you can, of course, if you prefer the other system.
No, it's fine.
You know, it's of course you can look. And I don't say to be he's not gonna hate that, but of course I also do some replica guitars. And of course, if I'm talking about making, for example, a Taurus replica, well, I'm not going to use that system because this is some sort of historical thing. But when it comes to development and really making what I call the future of guitar, if you prefer it out of tune, that's up to you. That's all I have to say. You know, no problem with us.
About it, I say just we can just sit here and talk theory and stuff, and you know, like I said from the beginning, even to Johannes, is that you know, try to play it first.
Yeah.
Then after that, we can have a discussion and see. I don't say that you know. I don't try to push True Temperament on everybody. I'm really restricted with that. I want people to try it first. This is the optimal way to do it. Try it to see if they just appreciate it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's simple.
No
Simple.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, more questions?
I've got one of Instagram in Spanish.
Okay.
Do you want to attempt
Yeah,
that?
maybe I should read it out.
Yeah, I should probably butcher it.
Let's see. Pregunta. ¿Por qué los trastes son de la guitarra?
I can attempt to read it out.
Maybe Google Translate. We'll get to your. Pardon, mi español no. ¿Habla español? No.
Perdón,
No.
escribo español. Okay,
We gonna Google Translate that
I've
maybe.
got another one.
Yeah.
From Tom Nicholas. Hi Johannes, we met many years ago at the World Youth Guitar Festival.
Oh!
This is really interesting. I remember Gary Ryan once demonstrated the same problem of temperament to us in a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Can this fretting be retrospectively applied to an old guitar, or can you only do it on a new one?
No, we just that's. I know that we talked about it before. You can just have your guitar sent to Anders, and he can just do it for you. And it's he did that to that's what I talked earlier about. He did that to one of my guitars. And in case you didn't, I know maybe you just joined later, but one amazing thing, a side effect, as I said, it didn't only was more in tune. This is amazing thing. It was louder and it was more resonant because basically when I play one note, it's more. Because now it's the same like the open strings. So it makes every note resonate more. And it basically becomes louder. So yeah, I would, you know, yeah, if you love your guitar and you want it frets, yeah, do it that way. You know, absolutely. Or you know, or at least if you're thinking about a guitar, I think if you like this is a very good thing to consider before getting a new guitar. Maybe you should get these frets, you know. Let us do we have never had so many questions on a live stream before, so now I'm tuned in one of my Indian style
I think I got the Spanish question.
Oh, good.
I think it is why are the frets from the guitar crooked?
This is the weird thing, this is the weird thing that you think that, like he says, in theory, you would think that the straight frets are in tune, but whatever it is there, it isn't just not, and that's just the way it is, and that's basically what Anders has spent 35 years trying to figure out why that is. Right?
Yeah, sure. That's true.
But let's do a little music here. Now, so I tuned in a completely different tuning here. I have a D here and I have a B flat. This is G. Alright. I know you guys. This is an example again. Here we're basically going. This is something with the that we need to. Anyway, this is live streams are like that. So
Thanks for
we
everyone.
just got. We're back. We're back. Sometimes so. But here's an example. Of course, here I'm playing very hard. It's going, and I had to reach it. It's going to go a little out of tune. This was less in tune than we heard before. It bothered me a little bit. But of course, again, it's more close. So even if it goes, it's still better. And now, for example, I was playing here and I noticed it's much easier even to adjust for me. Because now I can hear it goes, we're just more close. Question?
Yes, Franz again. So I can improve even a Hauser copy by buying Corin with this. Sounds tempting, but kind of sacrilege on this wonderful guitar.
I know, Franz, you have a very beautiful guitar. Well, it's a hard question. You could also, maybe it's better to send another guitar first, or get another one. At first, because I mean, this is also, I have had the same thing, because now we have, in my project, in the beginning, what I did with the luthiers I worked with, the luthiers I work with, I don't go in and change everything. The first thing I do when I work with a luthier for my brand is I look what they do the very best, okay? So of course we also bought in some guitars with normal frets, and of course it's a big thought, and I thought about it myself. In my case, at this point, I didn't want to waste time by remaking those guitars. We're focusing on making the new ones. So, well, that's my take on it. And you know, again, you know, it also depends a little bit on what you're playing and so on. I know it's a tough question, and there's no answer to that. Yes, in a way, there could be a problem when we talk, because what Franz is talking about is a valuable guitar. A brand guitar. The problem is, yes, any interference done, we know that with if you have, for example, a historical guitar, if there's interference by another person, another maker, even if it was done 50 years ago, the value of the instrument is, of course, sort of, it goes away. So yeah, maybe if you have really, you know, maybe leave them alone. Maybe, as I said, this is the guitar. We don't say that it's awful. It's, of course, I played my whole life with and I love the guitar. What I'm saying, it's more, in my vision, I'm not going to try to go back and change it. This is for the future. That's why this is one of my slogans for these instruments, is the guitar of the future. More questions?
He replied, yes, I will try this with another guitar.
This is better.
Yes, but the fretting is really better. I want my best guitar to have it, of course.
Yeah, of course. So I think that's maybe the best way. Try one first that you're not as afraid of, and then use that, and then you will probably feel whether or not you want to change the other one.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, again,
it's better to try it first.
Yeah.
And discover, you know, how it is to play on it, and you know, make up your mind on that guitar. You know, so take it easy. Just
And again, of course, I mean, we love the guitar. That's what we're. Yeah. I'm sure everyone we loved it. I loved it with the normal frets too. But this is part of sort of my, just like with. I'm trying to develop my musicality, my music. For me, this is part of that. I want to try to develop more and reach other goals. So it is, for me, it's a natural development. But I think, you know me, I'm very excited about stuff. But as I say, I really think this is ultimately going to replace the old system. That is that's my guess. I put my bet on that. I say, we talked about it earlier, but about me potentially becoming more involved in this company, because, like, basically, this is where I would put my money. If you see what I mean, I believe in this myself, but of course, we're not saying that it was terrible before, you know. It's a part of my longing, you know, to development, new things, and so I'm not a typical guitarist that sort of stays conservative and thinks that things were better in the past, if you see what I mean. No, I'm the same with the constructions of these guitars. That's why I say, of course, we also do things like copies of, and we're doing a wonderful copy of I lost it now, but like Targa played, and that's lovely, and I feel that's also kind of almost like historical, and I can feel, for me it has a value to know that that's the kind of guitar that Targa used. But when it comes to what Johannes, this is what I use. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm interested in the history, but for me, this is the future. We adore the past, but this is the future. Sorry, I got a little bit too excited, and there's more questions.
There's Frank who just wants to make something clear. Just to understand, if you play a tune in C and then exactly the same, theoretically, in a tone quite a bit away from C, will it sound as perfect?
Yes. Well, here we are. That's why we have this live stream. Let's try. So let's tune first, because now of course, this is a problem with me that I like to retune. And for you who've been to my shows, the reason is why I talk so much in between the pieces is just because I need to get the guitar in tune, you know. And actually, you know, now, ideally you can also have more guitars on stage too, but actually I kind of, and for you who's seen my live streams too, I get carried away and start improvising, and I tune, and the tuning almost become a part of the playing, and again, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for the development of the guitar. This is what I'm interested in, and this is when I started my own company making guitars. This was the very first thing that I knew that I wanted to do. It was to go deeper into the system. More questions.
Franz, just another comment. Imagine a romantic guitar by Staffer with this. Yes. Regarding sound, it should make sense, but odd for the purist regarding historical instruments. Or change my, sorry for butchering this word, my vihuela or
Vihuela, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, when we talk about really vihuelas and things like that, basically this is before, of course, who invented the, am I totally wrong to say that kind of Bach almost invented the, or he was the one that was the first one to really use the tempered scale, like with the equal temperament for the well-tempered clavier, or he wanted to write 24 preludes and fugues in all the keys.
I mean, it's been discussed during a long time, you know, and I just looked about it a little bit. He has been like accused to be the inventor of True Temperament, but I don't think that was the case, you know, we really get into it, because he had a way of tuning, and it's nearly impossible today to understand how we did it.
So do you think that Bach, did he tune himself?
Yeah,
probably.
Of course. Yeah, he did.
And so he probably heard of this information. That means that he had must have really went into it himself, I believe. To really have. So Bach is, of course, there would be no music without Bach, they say. But
so I think he has some twists here and there, you know,
sure.
I think he has like a tuning tool with him, you know, for the tremolo thing, and he's retune it. That was, I believe, because he has to consider how he works. If you get the instrument, you need to tune it.
Right, yeah. Yes. Okay, what was the C? So you talk about the C chord. So yes, if I go, it's the same. That's what this is. But now I'm not in tune. Sorry, I shouldn't have done all. But I wanted to prove to you that it's not a problem to use retuning, because this question comes up so often. Yeah, so right? It's not. That's the whole point. That it's all it's tuned for everything, because like we talked before, you can kind of adjust your guitar to be, for example, well in tune in first position. And this is another thing, because for example, during many of my recordings, working with my tuning, my sound engineer for years, Ollie Whitworth, his ear is just so developed, and so very often with the standard tunings, what we need to do, especially for things in high position, I need to tune the guitar, otherwise he's not happy, and we need to basically record that part separately and then cut it in. So this is, of course, already during those sessions, I realized, my God, I needed True Temperament. And of course, I did my last CD, and that was a bit unfortunate because it was right after this crisis started, and this was actually the guitar I was going to use for it, but it was stuck in China. Anyway, so on that recording, again, we did, there was so many takes, we just had to, I had to adjust the tuning for this section, and this is not a very natural way to record, where ideally you want to have long takes and have the music flow, and instead we have so many and in the end, the result is good, because Ollie, he can do anything, so there's no problem with the sound, but this is really, again, also where recordings, there I feel it more than ever, actually, that this is so awesome. Well, you guys, do you want to say something more? I feel we're kind of getting to a very nice, I want to thank you all for being here, whether you're watching now or afterwards. We have more questions though.
Oh, well, Bill says thank you
Bill.
for doing this live stream.
Bill, thank you for being here again, Bill. You guys are really so nice to so many of you always join my live streams, and all the best to you. And well, let's make a handshake here for our collaboration. And I'm so happy to be here, and we're gonna have an awesome future together. I feel that.
Yeah, sure, yeah, we do it.
Thank
nice,
you,
really nice to have the opportunity to have a shot,
And thank you for doing this. This is so amazing, in these times. Like we talk about Bach inventing. We couldn't talk to these guys, but we can talk to Anders here. And this is, as I said, one day when we all become extremely wealthy from this, we're gonna go on Bali, and we're gonna sit there for 3 weeks and talk about this the whole day. And Franz, you can come along with us too.
Yeah, let's see about that. Anyway, we keep on struggling here that we've been doing all the time, and yes, of course, yeah.
Dreaming, no, joking. Dreaming. We have to dream.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everybody has to dream. Yeah.
We have more questions.
Just a request to end the session by playing a little something.
Yes, of course. Let me do it so we get a little bit even better sound. I don't know, I want to push you out of the picture, but we still want to do it. I just want to pull up more a little bit. And what? Yeah, let's see what we're gonna end with something pretty.
Silk, drops of silk.
Okay. Then again, this is what happens. I need to retune, and I need to talk to you, and I can tell you. Well, this is of course I would like to take this opportunity to also present this guitar, which is, and I'm actually we should have trained this before. It's always better when that he says the good things about me and I say the good things about him. Then it looks better. But anyway, I'm very happy that I think I will be the first on classical guitar to basically present entire lines that only uses.
Yeah.
So this model, I call this. This is my Sueño series, okay? Sueño, dream. But this particular model is called Magia. It's magic. It's the magical model, and it's a elevated fretboard. On this particular model, this is very funny. Normally people want cedar or spruce, but actually this particular model, it just works better in cedar. So Magia is always in cedar, and it's not a double top. You would think so when you hear it, but it's a lattice bracing with the elevated fretboard, and this is really, for me, this is the kind of guitar that is perfect for a young player that wants to play explosively and fast or beautiful, or it's a really lively and wonderful type of instrument. More questions?
Yes, Frank says, interesting, does the shape of the frets differ from the guitar to guitar?
No, it depends on what kind of guitar and the actual scale length. That doesn't matter. I don't remember, this is 650?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If I just compare to I use the grab guitar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it slightly different on classical than from steel string? That's a good,
sure. This is also 650, but it's a steel string. So it differs because the type of string reacts differently on different locations. So this is the exact same voicings on this one, in terms of frequencies, as this one, but this is on steel. So you see, little bit different here. It's a little
Interesting.
bit
Yes, it is.
different behavior at this
Mhm.
region. You see it. Yeah, you see it can they remind of each other,
Mhm.
but it's a little bit
Basically,
different.
that is
Yeah.
so interesting. And I
So,
actually, yeah.
That's what I'm doing. So it's not like from guitar. It's about the scale length and the type of guitar that you determine what kind of frets that will end up from it. So
More questions. They've never had so many questions. That's what we do. This so you can ask your questions.
Fabrizio says with normal fretting, there are some guitars that are more in tune than others. Is it the same with this system, or can we say that this system can make sound in tune for every guitar? Let's say even the Alhambra that you tried before.
yeah, but I think this depends on the actual guitar itself. But on the True Temperament guitars, we have like this. One of the aspects that we call, everything True Temperament is that it's actually the True Temperament in terms of the scaling. This one thing. So if this is 650, the bridge should be placed at 650 millimeters exactly on both the bass and the treble side. On the straight fretted guitar, you have so different things that would kind of affect the intonation.
And you
Yeah.
keep talking.
Yes, it's about how they have put the nut, how it's installed, if it's installed in the correct way, and also about the compensation at the bridge, because a straight fret guitar will end up with a longer scale than it specified for because of the intonation. They have to find the right octave at the 12th fret. It will actually end up a little bit, the bridge bone will be a little bit further back. So it's a bit different. Yeah, that's why it's.
Sorry guys, I'm so sorry about this. I wish it wasn't, but this is something that happens when you're out. And let's just do this. Let's do this. Guys, we're gonna do this now because for some reason
What happened with the
I
camera?
am basically a guitarist, so I'm not so good with it. Something with the camera happened, but now you can still see us here. Oh, I have to press OK. But anyway, this has been an awesome live stream, and as you know, live streams are. So let's do a little playing, and then. Last comments. Yeah.
So all strings for classical guitar would do one classical guitar. String may behave differently or not so much. Maybe I read that wrong.
No, that is the thing. What is so interesting is for electric, for steel, it's all a little different. Alright? That's the interesting thing. Alright, let's do a little playing because my camera has, for some reason, some problem with the battery. But I'm gonna discuss this with my father, who is very good with tech. Okay. Thank you guys. Sorry, a little bit technical difficulties there, but now we are going to say goodbye. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Goodbye.
all right.
Yeah, great.
Thank you. Oh, I did.